Hey everyone, I was able to reach a personal milestone goal of mine, which is $100,000 in my Roth IRA. And so this video is going to be talking about the Roth IRA and quickly my journey and some rules that are important to know, what I did to get there, and what my plan is going forward. So, if you don't know what a Roth IRA is, it grows tax free. That is the main thing to know about a Roth IRA versus a traditional IRA. And when I was in this process years ago, when I first was opening it up, you have a decision to make here if you want to contribute to a traditional IRA, Roth IRA, and knowing the rules, knowing what it is, doing the math out, it became very obvious to me Roth IRA is the way to go. It grows tax free versus deferring. You could be in a situation where you have a high paying job right now. Maybe you're closer to retirement and it makes sense to leave your money at the moment in a traditional, contribute to a traditional, leave it in there, and then convert it after when you retire. You could be in a situation like that, but anyone who's young, easily, you want to do the Roth. Anyone who's not in like the super top tax bracket, 36%, you want to typically put in the Roth IRA. When I was first studying this topic, I was seeing people say, oh, it matters what the tax rates are going to be now compared to what the tax rates are going to be in the future. I don't think that's a good idea to do your planning on contributing to either traditional or Roth based on tax rates. Because if you do out the math, if your money's compounding, it's doubling and tripling, and you're in a Roth IRA, the amount of tax-free gains is going to greatly outweigh the amount of tax you're going to have to pay on that income in the current year. So that's that. A few things to know is that with Roth IRA, you could take out your basis, right? So what a basis is in Roth IRA is the amount of money you put in minus the amount of money that you take out. All right, that's your basis. So there's only a 10% early withdrawal penalty on the earnings. So what exceeds your basis, you got to pay a 10% penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half. So, and then there's a 5-year rule. Okay, so you have to pay tax on anything you take out of the Roth IRA if you have not owned it, if you not started your first contribution in that Roth IRA for at least 5 years. So, which would totally defeat the purpose of a Roth IRA if you're just gonna take it out within 5 years. So, because everything in investing is going to be long term. So, also, I want to mention that there's also a 10K exception that you could take out on earnings of a Roth IRA for a first time home buyer. Now, I personally probably won't do this, and I probably won't take out money that I put in, even though I can with the Roth IRA. However, for me, that's kind of a backup plan in my life if I run out of money and I need to go into my Roth IRA. I would do that. So, and that's also a benefit of a Roth versus traditional, because traditional you're gonna get hit with a penalty and pay tax on it. A Roth, you've already paid tax on it, and you could take it out when you want to. And while it's being invested, your money should be growing long term. So, me personally, I only started investing in my Roth IRA in 2019 because I did not get good at personal finance until around that time. All right. And I had worked in accounting for years, and I never looked into really personal finance because for the longest time I was working with people's money and doing people's taxes, and most people don't know personal finance, and most people when they invest they lose money. So I always thought stay away from investing until I became knowledgeable in this area, and it became around that time, 2019. So I first got it going. The max was 6,000 at the time. So in the beginning of 2019, I put the $6,000 limit for the tax year of 2018. So you get to the tax deadline of the next subsequent year to contribute for the prior year. So 2018, I contributed in 2019 for 2018, And then by the end of the year, I contributed another $6,000 in 2019. And that's all I did as far as directly contributing to the Roth IRA. I haven't since that date. And so I started off investing in mutual funds, index funds, which I think everyone should start off doing that. And then when I got good at investing, I studied a lot. Around 2020, when the pandemic came, that was when I started to invest in. I took my money out of the index funds, which I was up. I made money, and mutual funds, and I started to invest in individual stocks. So I had the $12,000 I was growing. I got that going on. All right. And my job at work, no one told me about this. And I was probably the only person in my company, I would guess, that was even doing this. So this is one thing I was doing that got me ahead. Now, personal choice retirement account. PCRA. When I was going through the investments at my job, the possibilities before this, I actually had it in the S&P 500, and also I had it. And before that, I had my 401k money in a target date retirement fund. That's where it defaults. That's where the majority of people have their money in a target date fund, their 401k at the job. Now, I was starting to get ambitious. I was looking through the possible options at my job where I can invest my money. And then I came across the option of this personal choice retirement account. It was linked with Charles Schwab. And when I looked into this and saw that I can invest my 401k money in individual stocks, I was this ambitious type. I went full fledged. I put all my money in individual stocks in my 401k while I was working. And for most people, this is a bad idea. But if you're watching this video, you're like me, maybe you could become knowledgeable, it could pay off big time. And for me, it did. So the way it worked is whenever I got paid every 2 weeks, my employer would match. And so I had money to invest every 2 weeks. And I enjoy investing. So every 2 weeks, it was like Christmas for me. And I was always studying and I was always looking forward to investing my next paycheck and getting that match with the 401k. Now, I was only doing the traditional 401k. And so I was getting all the money every 2 weeks and I was investing. And for the longest time, I was investing in these 6 stocks. 5 of them I made money. One of them I didn't. The only stock I didn't make money on was PayPal. I actually lost money in PayPal. But I was going my main 6 stocks for like a good year and a half. Besides PayPal was Microsoft made money, Apple made money, Nvidia made a lot of money, Adobe made money, and those were my main. That's what I did every 2 weeks for a long period of time. Then when it came to be probably about 2022, then I started getting better at what I was doing, and I even started I even started to buy gas stocks, made money. I did things like that that actually paid off. McDonald's for a period of time, I made some money. So when I got good at investing, I went full into this. And when I left my employer last fall, I pretty much the money I put in, which is me and the match I got from my employer, I definitely probably 2 to 3 times X'd because of this personal choice retirement account because of my individual stocks of what I actually invested in there. So for me, it was a huge victory. The main one I had in my biggest position was actually Nvidia, and 2023 was a phenomenal year for that stock. And going into 2023, that was, I believe, about 25% of my 401k. And also with my Roth IRA at the time, it was a big position because it was a stock I had such a high conviction in, and I've been right. So, but I had stock, Apple, Microsoft that doubled, and Amazon was the other one. That was the other one. Anyways, so I was doing this. I built it up. I probably 2 to 3 times X what I invested in this, and by the time I left my company, they tried telling you to leave it in there and pay fees. See, the thing was about 401k, you got to pay these fees, right? So it's a pretty obvious decision when you understand 401ks versus IRAs to roll it over. So I got money out of there, and by the time I rolled it over, it was around 45,000, and I converted most of that this past year, paid the taxes on it, and the remainder at the beginning of this year, pay the estimated taxes on that in January. So paid taxes up on it, converted everything into my Roth IRA. So that was about 45, and then I put another. Had the 12,000 I put in there. Even though the 45, most of that was actually gains. So really, out of the $101,000 balance I currently have in my Roth IRA, the amount of money that was I had invested in there, counting including my employer match, was probably about 30 something thousand dollars. 60 something thousand dollars is stock gains. And so that's how I was able to get to where I'm at today. So recently I had a number of videos. You could see that I came with my strategy with big data, where the future trends were. And after I made the conversion with my employer money that I invested, the stocks I had turned out to do really well. My main one was Nvidia. I had a sizable position in Google that has done well. Amazon, I had a sizable position, done well. And the other stock I had is Tesla, which has not done well, which I think will do really well. That's for another video. And so that strategy I had, the majority of my stocks, it worked, my strategy. So my growth strategy. So my plan from here, right? So personally, I've been trying to save up for a house, and I'm well ahead with my retirement as far as by the time I retire, what it can compound to be without adding to it. So I haven't been adding to my Roth IRA since I for a while, and I do plan on taking more of the profits of my artificial intelligence winners probably towards the end of the year. And instead of being 100% growth with what I am right now, I'll have it towards 75, 25, 25% defensive. I'll still always be in stocks. I made a video about why I don't invest in bonds. So yeah, follow my journey from here. I hope I give some good tips. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I make updates, anything that I see is beneficial that could help, that's helped me. And when I make moves investing or I have plans, I like to share that stuff because I enjoy investing and my knowledge of taxation. I like to share. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.